We think we can absorb that. We think we can produce that. Our larger concern is all the educational support personnel, and we have to step up our efforts in that regard. One of the things too is our business community has really led the support of growth in public education facilities, but we've demanded accountability and metrics to measure accountability, and the chart down the bottom left shows that our school districts are responding. We are seeing the excellence indicators improving in all areas. Next. Higher education, research and commercialization. We have over 1,200 scientists and engineers a year that are graduating from the University of Texas at El Paso and another university 30 minutes up the road from us called New Mexico State University. And we saw the buildup as an opportunity to provide employment for a lot of these scientists and engineers. We have a commercialization effort underway too. In fact, one of the things the president of the university and I wrote a business plan that was funded by Congress to create what is called the Center for Defense Systems Research. And this center is created so that we have higher education, industry, and the Army all working together on these technology gaps as they relate to systems integration. Go next. And there's some interesting things there too, is that there's a regular roundtable discussion between our university and the post leadership to make sure that the university is responding with continuing education needs on the installation. I know you were at UTEP at one point. One of the things that's developed out of that relationship is that the University of Texas at El Paso has created a Master's in Leadership Studies program that has been specifically crafted for captains in the Army who are going through the Captain's Career Course. And so we have the university offering courses on campus to help train Army leadership. In the area of soldier care, I could spend a whole hour talking about this. One thing I will talk about is that we now have had 6 annual, what we call the Freedom Fiesta, which is a month-long celebration of the military in our community, where our companies do proudly offer discounts to military families. In fact, we have our major shopping malls there. We'll pick one Sunday evening out of that period and close down the mall to everyone except for military families. And there are all kinds of discounts that local retailers are offering to the military. And we feel like it's an important way to say thank you for these men and women that put their life on the line every day in the job that they do. And then you'll see other things that we're doing in terms of things like the Wounded Warrior Program, Living in the New Normal, our adoption program, where we have businesses and organizations in the community that are actually going out and adopting units, specific units on the installation to provide for family needs. Let me tell you, in El Paso, we try to treat our soldiers, airmen, and Marines like rock stars. And we think most of them, if you talk to them in our community, they would tell you that's exactly the way that they're treated. Go next. In the area of healthcare, we're building a new school of medicine. We have a local, and we're talking about a shortage. Again, this is maybe the most acute area that we have to address. But we're predicting over the next decade or so that we're going to have a shortage, if we don't do something extraordinary, a shortage of about 4,000 healthcare personnel in our region. 250 to 300 of those are doctors. I think another 1,000 or so, a little bit higher number perhaps, are nurses. I think the numbers are right there. I can't read them from this far away. But one of the things, we have a local healthcare foundation that as people graduate from this new medical school that I've talked about, if they'll stay in El Paso and commit to 5 years of service as a doc in El Paso, we have a local foundation that actually will pay 100% of their tuition, will completely write off their tuition in medical school. So we're trying to do some unique things too to grow the healthcare related personnel in our community. Building new children's hospitals. Strategic communications. We have formed a regional organization called the Alliance for Regional Military Support, where when we go to Washington, D.C. and talk about issues, we are talking about those issues with our brethren from the White Sands community, from the Holloman Air Force Base community, which is a part of this complex, and the Fort Bliss community. And one of the things that we do and that we would suggest any community to do is to have regular STRATCOM meetings with your post leadership, so that you have a heads up whenever new things are coming down the road on the installation, or there may be some things in the community that need to be communicated back to installation leadership. I mean, a big part of what we see is going to be the success of going forward is we have to keep this mentality out of our community that there are two sides of the fence. And we feel like one of the ways you do that is that you communicate and you keep on communicating. So in conclusion, what I've tried to do over the last few minutes is summarize over 500 pages of research that have been produced. And Anita, I'm going to make all of that research available to you. I mean, we have hired consultants, some paid for by the Office of Economic Adjustment, to do a regional growth management plan. And I'm going to make all that data available to your folks here in Guam to see if there might be some lessons learned. And as I think I may have mentioned, I know I mentioned at the table, we would like to invite a team of individuals from Guam to come and meet with all aspects of our community to hear different perspectives about what we are doing in the military buildup. But hire knowledgeable, experienced consultants, and we can actually help you with that. I mean, we've hired a number of them. When I got this speaking engagement, the first thing that I did is I called a military consultant that I have on retainer so that I could better understand the situation here in Guam. What's important and what we're doing here in El Paso too is we're creating a broad-based community advisory group to deal with the growth challenges and opportunities. And it really, what we're trying to do in El Paso is to have all aspects of the community heard from, not just the business community, not just the military community, but also the social community as well. And we'll see how this experiment is going to work because we get in the room a lot of times and there's disagreement about whether or not this is positive and where this is all headed. And then, again, I think the key is, and particularly this is a message for the community and the installation leadership, is that keep that two-way communication going. You don't want to deal with problems after they become problems. You want a heads up on those far in advance as possible. Okay, I'm done. Subject to your questions.